Welcome to Stockton, California, where this week I'm going to teach you everything you need to know to land your first crisis contract. Vámonos! Hello and welcome to the Everything Travel Nurse Show, a show dedicated to educate and entertain nurses who are inspired by travel nursing. I'm a world traveler and been on the road now for over 3 years. My name is Travel Nurse Gary. I believe that you can do this too, and I'm here to help you along your journey. Hello and welcome everybody to the Everything Travel Nurse Show. I'm your host, Travel Nurse Gary, and today, I'm so excited to be here with you. We're talking about something I love, and that is travel nursing. Today's episode is crisis contracts. Not only do we have today's episode written, but I actually have all of season 1 pretty much all written up now, and I'm actually beginning on part of season 2. So if you're interested in travel nursing, subscribe to the channel. A bunch of really great content that we're going to be covering, and I'm super excited to cover this with you. The first thing I want to do in today's episode is actually bring you a real quick pro tip. And on today's real quick tip, I want to discuss 2 different difficulties I had on my first contract so that you can be more successful on yours. The first thing I want to discuss is actually acknowledging that it's really scary taking your first contract. I know I was scared of the entire process of becoming a travel nurse, and I actually waited about 6 months before I actually started travel nursing other than what my original plan date was, because I was just scared. I was scared and I didn't have a plan, so I want you to create a plan for yourself so that you have it on your calendar when you want to start getting everything ready to become a travel nurse. Now, I let everything boil up to the point where I was so frustrated with my life and my job that I finally just looked in the mirror and said to myself, I'm either going to quit my job as a nurse or else I'm going to start travel nursing because I don't want to do this anymore. Once I realized that I was unhappy and I had to have change in my life in order to be happy, it really started to fall together that travel nursing was the ideal place for me. And that exact same day, I called my recruiter up, and within 2 weeks, we landed my first contract. And within a month, I quit my job. I quit my job on a Friday. I flew from Detroit to Los Angeles on Saturday. On Sunday, I actually had a really nice day. I met a Russian girl in Hollywood, and we went out for Bosch for the first time ever, which was actually really good. Then on Sunday, I started off my career as a travel nurse, and looking back, if I would have had a plan and I wouldn't have been scared, I feel like I would have became a travel nurse earlier and I would have been happier earlier. Everybody in this field needs a support person to set up, and if you don't have anybody, let's start off with adding me as your friend. There it is. I'm on the Facebook and Instagram. I'm not on there every single day because I am a full-time practicing nurse, but for all those new nurses, the nurses who have never taken a contract before, I just want to let you know that following somebody makes it so much easier. It doesn't have to be me, but there I am. Warning: once you start down the path of the travel nurse, forever will it dominate your destiny. When you first start travel nursing, if you can travel with somebody, that's the best situation because you're going to have somebody physically there to help support you. But if you can't have somebody there physically supporting you, then I want you to set up to have somebody calling you on a weekly basis saying, "Hey, Travel Nurse Gary, what's going on? Is there anything you need? What can I do to make it easier for you to become a travel nurse?" Make sure you set up a support person. Now, after 3 years of travel nursing, I finally have a support person, and I wish that I would have set it up earlier so that it would have been a lot easier to transition to the travel nurse job. Trust me, whoever you can get to help you. I know, how about my father's brother's cousin's nephew's former roommate, eh? Whatever it takes, just get your support person, okay? This is enough for the quick tip. Let's go back to the show. Now that we've had that real quick pro tip, let's talk about something else. Let's talk about where do we begin? Because there's so much about travel nursing. It's like, where do you even funnel everything to start off at? Insurance, travel agencies, recruiters, state reimbursement, my first travel contract. What if my first place they don't like me? What will I do? This is where we're going to take a big deep breath in. This is a photo taken in Deschutes National Forest in Oregon. You have so many cool places that you're going to go in your first year, and I'm so excited for you. Are you ready? Let's go. Let's start off at the same place I started off, and that is on the internet. Alright, you guys, let's dive right into this. I want to do some job searching right off the bat. We've got NurseFi. NurseFi is going to be the search engine I like to use for all of my job searching. And opening it right up, we have respiratory therapists. We have travel respiratory therapists, PT, OT, PT assistants, CNAs, LVNs, speech pathologists. All of you are more than welcome to join the channel. I want to say thank you for what you do. Maybe you're just a little bit unappreciated from time to time. Now let's say that we're a med-surg nurse, and in the middle of the screen you can see that we have the company who's offering the contract and the location of the contract. To the right of the screen we have the pay package for each contract. I mean, wow, $4,000 to $5,000. I don't know about you, but I'm excited. Over to the left we have the search filter, and I want you, yes, I'm giving you homework, to actually fill this out and to figure out which states you need to apply in the future in order to be more diversified on your portfolio. Warning, it takes 4 to 6 months to get your nursing license in California. Let's click on one of these real quick. San Leandro, California. Just visited a travel nurse up there. It's a pretty nice place. What I want to pay particular attention to is start the conversation tab on the right. That's direct access to a recruiter. It makes it so much easier to apply for a job. Alright, and now NurseFi is telling us that we need to create an account, but we're just going to go Google Incognito, and now we're in ICU nurse. So I'm an ICU nurse, and what I'm going to do is kind of change the search criteria around here a little bit, drop this sort down to pay, and then I'm going to actually pick the 5 states that I'm legally allowed to practice as an RN and show you the results. So as we're reviewing those results in the background, I want to talk to all those younger nurses, those nurses with maybe half a year to 2 years experience who are thinking about travel nursing. Number one reason for nurses to start traveling is debt. Say you graduated from the University of California, Los Angeles, and you had no other way to pay for school except for to rack up some student debt. The average 4-year degree at UCLA costs $103,000 according to the website. Say you had nowhere else to live, so you lived on campus. That'll cost you $140,000, assuming that you graduated in 4 years. I'm a millennial as well, and I graduated after 2 years from an ADN program with $25,000 worth of debt. I then created a 3-year program where I paid off all of my debt, and not only did I pay off my debt, but I also paid for a BSN program as well. During that time, most of my loans were Stafford loans, which means that the federal government paid the interest on those loans. So all said and done, I actually paid $1,100 at the end of 5 years of having a loan. And I love crunching the numbers, but one of the things I've discovered with talking with nurses over the years is that nurses aren't financially literate. So one of our main goals of the channel is going to be financial education. But that's enough of the ICU. Let's change our search criteria to the ED. No matter what specialty of nursing you're in, just know that NurseFi can break down and let you know what's currently on the market. Now I want to talk to you about goals. What are your goals? What do you want to accomplish? Maybe you want to start travel this fall, and what you're thinking is, Northern Michigan sounds really nice. After that, New York, New Year. Springtime in Phoenix, and how about we end off the year in Seattle, Washington for the summer. Never set your goals too small. Know that you can be a travel nurse, and you can get a company to help pay for it all. Travel nursing is an amazing lifestyle. Don't set your goals too small. Whoa, looking a little chubby there, buddy. Hey, listen, a special shout out to all the travel nurse recruiters out there. You play a pivotal role in this position, and I want to say that you're more than welcome to join the channel, and also make sure that you're posting jobs on NurseFi so that we can kind of keep up on who's got the best contracts out there. Alright, you guys, listen, we've got a lot of material to go through, so let's put on the glasses and let's get serious. So first off, let's talk about NurseFi. NurseFi is a great job search tool that allows you to make sure that your company is being competitive with other companies in the same market. So let's just say, for example, that you land one contract with a company, and at contract number 2, they might send you a pay package that's not competitive with other companies. And I want you to use NurseFi to make sure that you're getting those competitive rates. Now, travel nursing does have some pretty amazing opportunities with it, and it provides an amazing lifestyle, but like all jobs, it does have some negatives that we need to discuss before you sign your first contract. The first negative I'd like to discuss with you is the current pandemic. No matter what field or specialty that you're in, you're going to be pulled into situations where you're exposed to the current pandemic. Cath lab, ER, med-surg, ICU, even if you're a surgical ICU nurse with hard experience, just go ahead and prepare yourself to know that in the future you're going to get pulled down and you're going to be a pulmonary ICU nurse. I know that the state of California is the only state that has nurse to patient ratios mandations, And I want to say that during this entire pandemic that they haven't been able to keep those mandations in place. So even here in California, you're not safe of going out of patient ratios in every department. I know that California's been out of ratio. If you're a travel nurse and you're traveling outside of the state of California, what I want you to do is actually put down in the comments below, hashtag the state that you're from and the amount of patients that you're getting, so that other travel nurses and myself can know what type of ratios that you're getting outside of the state. Here in California, we haven't been getting our breaks, and I want to make sure that you're informed about this and contemplate that before travel nursing. Just understand that you might not get your breaks. Now, with that thought, let's take a closer look. Now, this is the part of the show where we're going to take a closer look. Every week's going to be a little bit different what we look at, depending on where my mind decides to take us. But there's different aspects of travel nursing that we just don't always think about that really do deserve a closer look. Hello, and in this week's episode of A Closer Look, we're going to talk about adapting and evolving. As a travel nurse, you're going to be put in all sorts of crazy situations, and I want you to be prepared mentally to be turned upside down. Not only are we going to adapt and evolve as travel nurses inside the hospital setting, but we're also going to adapt it outside the hospital setting as well. And that means that we're going to adapt to the local cuisine. Now, if you're in New Orleans, you eat Cajun. If you're in Texas, eat steak. If you're in California, eat California rolls. You're going to find that adapting and evolving to every single culture that you're in throughout America can actually taste really good. Change never tasted so good. Alright, so it's really hard talking about this one, but I know that I've taken care of nurses and physicians in multiple specialties, and it's been so hard during this entire crisis to take care of those, and I don't want to see you get sick and end up in part of the hospital system either. Another special consideration you might want to consider is, are you healthy enough right now? Do you want to start traveling now, or maybe you want to get immunized before you start traveling? It's a really good minute to think about that. Another special consideration I want to talk about is nurse burnout and fatigue. I know that I've been working 48 to 60 hours for pretty much this entire year, and it's been really difficult through this entire pandemic being a nurse and just working consistent overtime and always beyond on call and always having staffing call me on my days off. It's really tiring. Make sure you don't burn yourself out. Take time off to rest, take time to heal your body, make sure you do whatever it is you need to do to keep healthy. So that's everything I have for this week's episode. Next month, I'm going to be talking about housing, everything you need to know about housing in order to be successful. Is it over? Oh, thank God. I thought he'd never stop talking, eh?